Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. My name's Mike Amos. We're coming to you from our studios on South Brundage Street in Troy, Alabama. And LA means Lower Alabama. And we hope everybody's doing well this morning. We like to start the morning with everybody and give them information that they'll be able to carry on with them. And of course, a lot of scores, high school scores. We'll go over those today and also talk about the Masters, and they're off to a good start. And football, a lot of spring football. Alabama and Auburn both have their spring games this weekend, and a lot of them have some question marks about some of their positions, and it's going to be a big weekend for both Alabama and Auburn folks as we take a look at spring practice. Of course, our show is brought to you by some great people. One of them is Health Actions Physical Therapy. This group is out of Jackson, Alabama, and they do a super job at Health Actions Physical Therapy right here on Highway 231, just before you take a left to go to Walmart. I want to mention also our good friends at Earl's Auto Glass, and of course, if you got any kind of ding or a bump in your car or truck, they can fix it now. Doing all kinds of body work, they can make that truck or car look like new again. Of course, they've made their living for many years the windshield business, and they'll change out that windshield in a hurry, and they work very closely with the insurance companies to make sure that you're taken care of, and of course the work that is to be done is done very well. Of course, a lot of high school baseball. Charles Henderson walloped a Carroll High of Ozark yesterday. Cole McWhorter had 3 hits, including a home run, and drove in 5 runs. Brock Huner had 2 hits, including a double, and drove in 3. And Keontae, Brantley, Caden, Brian Jackson, Giles, Will Reeves, and Lawson Scarborough each had RBIs. Chance Pollard had 2 hits, so they beat Carroll High 3 straight games. Charles Henderson is loaded, ladies and gentlemen, or anybody that's interested in that phrase. They are now 25 and 6. No, excuse me, 25 and 4, and are just playing lights out baseball right now, getting some very good pitching and hitting both. G.W. Long beat Arrington, and as good as Arrington is, Matt Snell struck out 12 and scattered 5 hits. As Long defeated Arrington 6-1. It's G.W. Long's about like a junior college. That's about how good they are. I saw them early in the year in a game they were playing against 7A team, and they just walloped them. And of course they're a single A team, class 2A team that can just play lights out most every time they go out. I want to mention Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep on the bypass in Troy, and of course Jason Gregory and all the great folks there have a tremendous selection of new and used cars and trucks to choose from. You're looking for a great deal, hey, they'll beat anybody's price, believe you me. Geneva beat Slocum 11-4. New Brockton beat Goshen, and Goshen had been on a win streak, but Andrew Cashin had 2 doubles and drove in 3 runs, and Hunter Wallace had 2 hits, and RBI, and Cashin scattered 3 hits in 5 innings, so doing very well. Pike Liberal Arts of Troy, Alabama. The Patriots scored 7 times in the first inning, and Chandler Golden was too tough on the mound as the Patriots win big 10-0 over Abbeville. Tristan Carter drove in 3 runs with a triple, and Chandler Golden had a 2-run homer. Jordan drove in 2 runs with a double. And Cody Hollis, Levi Sykes each had an RBI, and of course Max Copeland had a double. Want to make sure Max Copeland's name mentioned. His granddad works upstairs, and I know he's awfully proud of him. Some other games in girls softball, and we were talking about this earlier. Their GW Long is loaded in girls softball, and what I mean by that, Libby Baker allowed 1 hit in 6 innings and struck out 17 in the big victory over Rehoboth 4-0. And again, that's a 2A school playing against a 6A school or 5A school, and they're awfully good. Ops always good in girls softball, and in fact, they beat Strawn 5-3, and Opp goes to 15-7 on the year. Vicksburg beat Pike County 12-1. Pike County's on hard times right now in baseball. Of course, Vicksburg won again. They played a doubleheader and beat them 14-0. So very good effort by Vicksburg. Rehoboth beat Greenville 10-0 in the area play. Carson Herring didn't allow a hit in 4 innings of work and went 2 for 2 at the plate to lead the Rehoboth Rebels. Enterprise walloped Jeff Davis in a big area game. The Wildcats scored 6 runs in the first inning, and Garrett Barefoot had 2 hits and 4 RBIs. Matthew Hudson had 4 hits and 2 RBIs. Cole Hooper had 3 hits, 2 RBIs. Kobe Williams had a hit and 2 RBIs. And Parker Sessions, a big hit and an RBI. And also Hunter Summerall and Cooper Carlton had big games for the Enterprise Wildcats. Enterprise walloped them 13-0 and 13-3. In the first game, Gabe Anderson had 2 hits and 2 RBIs for the Wildcats, and Ryan Page had a hit and drove in 4 runs in the opener. Of course, Enterprise had 9 hits in the game, so Enterprise playing very well heading toward tournament time. And of course, wanted to mention a couple of other things about Charles Henderson. I want to say there. Of course, they're ranked preseason this week, number 2 in the state, is off to one of their better starts ever. And now, right here at tournament time, they're playing very well. Lee Scott beat Lakeside 11-6. And as we mentioned, Pike Liberal Arts walloped Abbeville, and New Brockton beat Goshen 8-0. So those are some of the early games that we wanted to report on. Of course, the Masters is in full swing, and 2 of my favorite young golfers, Brooks Copia and Bryson DeChambeau, and my good buddy, I say good buddy, one of my favorite players, Phil Mickelson, delivered enough excitement over the final 2 hours. Copia, winner in 2 of the last 3 majors, ran off 4 straight birdies and didn't look back in the middle of the back 9 by overpowering a soft course. DeChambeau came within inches of two hole-in-ones over the last 3 holes. It's amazing how close he came. It would have been something if they would have dropped. We got a call coming in, at least I heard it. Let's go to our phones. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing? Hello? Hello? Well, we missed him, so we'll try to get him when he comes back through. Brantley beat Pleasant Home 12-2 in girls softball. Brantley is really, really good. Anna Kimbrough, she's got to be related to Lomax, and of course, Brantley's off to a big start. Brantley's boys beat. Good morning, you're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hi, morning.
Where are you calling from, sir?
Drayton Beach, Florida.
Well, that's a ways down the road. What kind of weather do you have in Florida this morning?
It's beautiful this morning. It's been beautiful the last couple of days. I think the high today's going to be around 78 and sunny and beautiful place to be right now.
Yeah. Are the spring breakers down there? Do you have many of those?
Yeah, it's pretty much died down. I've seen a few Kentucky tags, but after Georgia, especially the Atlanta area, hit last week, it's calmed down a lot. Yeah. You can actually drive up and down 30A and not get in a traffic jam and not worry about hitting 5,000 people on bicycles.
No question. Mike, we were talking about some baseball and softball scores today, and Troy University, has a good program, and right now, thanks to Leanna Johnson, their pure freshman pitcher from Brantley, they're real good. I think they won something like 12 or 13 straight games going into a big conference, 3 games this weekend. But I was looking at GW Long. They've got a young lady named Libby Baker who struck out 17 yesterday in a one-hitter against Rehoboth. I think Troy could probably just stay in and go to Sampson and some other places in Wicksburg. They could stay in this area and win a lot of games.
Are you talking about as far as recruiting?
Yeah, recruiting. I think that's some and Pike Liberal's got some players. So does Charles Henderson. Some very good softball players.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to look at the roster and see.
Well, Brantley's.
Troy University, as far as how many players they have in state and out of state.
In fact, Brantley beat Pleasant Home 12-2, and they're awfully good. I want to mention that Pike Liberal Arts defeated Springwood 9-2. Allie Russian had 2 hits and 2 RBIs, and Madison Johnson had 2 hits, and Morgan Bundy, Ashley Adams, Sarah Elizabeth Calhoun, and Aubrey I can't pronounce it. Malden each had an RBI. Russian struck out 6 batters in 5 innings, so they're playing very well. Arrington beat Carroll of Ozark 15-5. Caroline Hughes and Lily Coker both had 3 hits and drove in 4 runs for Arrington. Hughes hit a home run and Coker hit a triple. Lakeland Pratt hit a 2-run homer also for the outstanding Arrington team. Their pitcher allowed just 5 hits. Her name was Savannah Wisenhut. So we're looking at both boys and girls softball and baseball. Again, Skipperville's Matt Snell struck out 12, and GW Long defeated Arrington 6-1. Slade Simmons and Carson Dunlap and Camphria each drove in a run. Parker Kaya had 2 singles, while Kristen Kaya and Kason Long and Jake Steed all had a single. So it's hard to beat that bunch down there at Skipperville, and Snell struck out 12 batters in his outstanding. And, of course, once again, Charles Henson wins 3 in a row over Carroll of Ozark, 17-7. Mike, in that game, Cole McWhorter had 3 hits and knocked in 5 runs, including a home run. So he's really been a good addition to.
He's a pretty good example that Pike Liberal Arts played pretty high quality baseball last year, winning that state championship. That he was able to go over to public school, 5A school, and tear it up. It looks like he hadn't missed a beat. Yeah, you're exactly right, Mike. It's a very good indication of that. Of course, the Masters going on right now, and they got 2 linebackers lead. If you want to call Kofi. You got DeChambeau, who is the guy that's like plays golf scientifically. He has kinds of, kind of quirky things he does, to analyze shots and stuff like that. And then you got Mr. Major, it seems like lately, Bruce Koepka, who played golf at Florida State down the road. I guess he's won 3 out of the last 6 majors. And then you got a guy that's my favorite of all time, that's about to be 49 years old, would be the oldest major winner of all time. Phil Mickelson's right behind him at 5 under.
Yeah.
Mickelson almost holds out at 16 yesterday. I mean, I will say I was able to watch a pretty good bit of it yesterday, and man, that course was playing pretty easy for some of these great players yesterday.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You can hit it anywhere at Augusta. That's the big thing.
If the
greens
are
hitters,
soft,
they can just hit it anywhere and shoot. They're hitting 9 irons and 8 irons to get in on par 5s is crazy.
And the way the greens are, they're soft, and they can just hit into every green pretty much, and make a big score. So of course we've got
Tiger went out early and was 3 under and leading early in the tournament, but then the real big guys got out there later with Dustin Johnson and Koepka and DeChambeau, and I mean Mickelson's hitting it farther than ever right now.
Yeah. But a lot of the guys think Tiger's in position to maybe make a run, so we'll watch that today.
I'll go over the scores later. I was going to mention for anybody heading up to Tuscaloosa, of course, it's Alabama's spring game, so this is all your Alabama game day needs you need to know. So if you want to go to Bryant-Denny Stadium tomorrow, the gates will open at 10 a.m. The Walk of Fame ceremony, that's when they honor the captains and they put their handprints at Denny chimes. They'll start at 11:15, and then you'll have your Walk of Champions. So Alabama's football team will walk through the national championship statues into the stadium at 11:50. Kickoff will be 1 p.m., and they'll be live on ESPN2. Weather does not look great tomorrow. National Weather Service, mostly cloudy skies. Saturday will be a high near 79. 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms later in the day. It's supposed to be really bad, severe weather. So
now later in the day, though,
hopefully nobody will get soaking wet tomorrow.
Well, down here, the forecast is bad weather could come in here on Sunday. They're leaving Saturday pretty much open for pretty good weather from down here.
So will Troy scrimmage for the second time Saturday?
Yeah, they plan on scrimmaging at 10 o'clock in the morning, and of course we've got the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies, which is going to be fun, and then of course a big party for the recipients, the inductees, after the wonderful ceremony as Troy celebrates their 8th edition to their Sports Hall of Fame, and one of your all-time favorite players, Mike, a guy named Brock Nutter. We had him on our show, and I'm sorry we got.
I tell you what, when I was a kid, I was a pretty big Garrett Pimenta fan too. He was an unbelievable linebacker.
Well, and his numbers are just unreal. I mean, not only was he the best tackler in Troy history, he was the best tackler by far. But
remember in Tuscaloosa tomorrow, forbidden items. Keep in mind, everyday items including umbrellas you cannot bring, unclear bags. These include unclear bags, purses, chair bags larger than 16 feet. 16 inches, strollers, flags, banners, and poles. So there's all kinds of information on Alabama game day if you need to know for a spring football game. Pretty unbelievable.
Yeah. Let me put you on hold a second, and I will be right back with you. We're going to check with this. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Good morning, Mike. It's Will Mann.
Where you been, Will? Where you been?
I've been to the Masters.
Somebody told me you just pulled it off for the 54th straight time. Is that right?
52.
52 straight times. Man, did you have fun? Did you go to the practice rounds or what?
Oh yeah. We went Tuesday and Wednesday and came back. Yeah. It was great. I tell you what, we had a real good time. Me and my daughter went this year.
Did you buy anybody anything?
I bought you a hat, and I've got it.
Did you? What color?
Pink.
Oh, great, man. I appreciate it. Hey, I appreciate that very much. And you know, we were talking about you yesterday, and you know that you found a way. How'd you end up getting your tickets?
I hate to say it, but I had to buy them from scalpers.
Did you pay very much?
I paid a lot. I don't even want to talk about it.
All right. I'm going to put you on hold. We're going to get Mike Amos in here, and we'll have a threesome here. And of course, it tickles me the way things work. All right. I think I have both of you. Is that right, Will?
Yeah.
Will Matthews and Mike Amos on the phone, and Mike, he did it. He did it. Hey, he was not like the old.
The big question is how much money did you have to pay to do it, Will?
It's an obscene amount. I'll just leave it.
Golly.
I told my daughter, I said, this may be the last time I come, and I don't care what it costs. We're going in, and I'm gonna tell you, this may be my last one.
Yeah. And Mike, he picked me up a pink hat, man. That's what I've been wanting, a pink one.
I wouldn't be called that, but, you know.
I tell you what, I wouldn't mind a new hat as well. I wish I would have got up with Will.
Well, let me tell you this, y'all. Will Matthews and I are very good friends, and he sponsors our show, and he calls in, and he's a very good friend of mine, and I enjoy him very much. But he did something a few years back, ladies and gentlemen, that you don't do to your best friend. I asked him, I said, Will, if you found a sweater vest, you know, I'm big on sweater vests. I got one on right now. I said, get me a sweater vest. And sure enough, he got me a sweater vest. It was pink and good looking. And I wear it all the time. I wear it on this show all the time. The quality is good. And it's been about 5 or 6 years ago. And I asked Will how much do I owe him? He said $168. Will, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Well, I would be, but I bought 2 of them for myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, that sweater vest that I wear, it is the pink one, cost me $168. I told Will, I said, Will, if I'd won the lottery, I wouldn't have paid that much for a sweater vest. But those things.
You had it on the beach the other day.
Oh yeah, I mean I wear it all the time, and it's a very good garment.
I mean it's cashmere, it's worth it.
Yeah, that's right. It was cashmere. You're right, it was worth it. And I mean I appreciate him doing it. In fact, I've bought a lot of stuff through Will over the years. And did you buy much this time?
Just $1,600 worth.
Oh gosh, that not just for you though.
Well, if you got an extra visor left, I'll buy it from you.
You know what? I didn't buy a single visor this time. I didn't. I had a couple of lawyers I'm in a case with. I bought them a shirt.
Oh yeah.
I bought myself some shirts, and I bought my baby some stuff. Baby.
And let me just say this, ladies and gentlemen, it's the only place you can buy these items are at the tournament. Isn't that right, Will?
And you can't. Yes, and you've got to have a ticket to get in to do that. There's no outdoor, outside the gate golf shop anymore. They've done away with that.
And when you walk in, it's
they used to have a golf shop right outside the gate that probably did millions of dollars worth of business, and they've shut that down.
All right. Well, where do you buy them now?
Inside, you got to go.
Oh yeah, you got to go in. And of course, they've got a big.
They got the big golf shop is like a Walmart.
Yeah, I mean it's huge, isn't it?
Huge, yeah.
And then the great thing about it, see, everybody said, well, I buy all this stuff, but I don't want to lug this stuff around all day long. And the smart thing they've done is now they'll let you check in your stuff before you go in, and you don't have to lug it around all day. So did Elizabeth Ann have a good time?
You mean Sarah Elizabeth?
I mean Sarah Elizabeth. Excuse me. Of course,
I watched a pretty good bit of it yesterday. I mean, it looks like the final score right now is going to be somewhere around probably 15 to 16 under, the way some of these, great golfers are playing right now. I mean, you got guys that are just bombing it out there, and of course you got Mickelson at almost 49, one shot off. Of course, that would be, history if that happens. What do you think is going to happen throughout the rest of the weekend?
Well, Mickelson still hits the ball a long way, and that's, he's still got his length.
And he still has what they call club speed. And somebody said around 119, that's pretty fast, isn't it?
Well, Mickelson's been playing well, and he won Pebble Beach early in the year. And I've always thought this year he's going to win the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach. I think that's his tournament, and I think if he wins it, he'll retire.
Oh, no.
They'll give him the career Grand Slam, and I think he'll quit if he because he's got so much money, Mike. I mean, he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
He also won $9 million against Tiger this year.
Oh yeah.
You don't hear a lot about that.
I think you'll never see Mickelson on the senior tour. I think he'll play the PGA Tour till he's about 55, probably.
And maybe he'll. Yeah, you're right. I don't think he'll ever play the senior tour.
Right now,
you got Dustin Johnson right behind at 4 under. I mean, you got Adam Scott, who's won the Masters at 3 under. You got Tiger back at 2 under. I mean, this is going to be a fun weekend for golf if the weather holds up.
Yeah, I thought
the weather's supposed to get bad. They'll have rain delays.
Bubba,
during the last 2 days, I'm sure.
So who did you follow when you were over there?
We watched a lot of them, and I tell you what, it's hard to walk that golf course.
Yeah, it is hilly.
And what we do, we go down on 11 and sit there in the grandstand and watch 11 and 12, and then we'll go sit in 13 grandstand, and then we'll go sit in 15 grandstand, and it's a lot easier to watch when you just get in a grandstand and sit for a couple hours.
Now I want everybody to know this: the sandwiches, egg salad. What are your choices?
$1.50.
$1.50 per sandwich, and what do they have? Egg salad, and what else?
Yep, they got club sandwich, egg salad, ham
chicken salad.
Nothing is cooked. No cooked, like no hamburgers, no hot dogs. Nothing is cooked because they don't want to smell.
Yeah. And somebody told me they wrap it in green paper. Is that right?
That's right. That's exactly right.
So that if it does fall on the ground, it won't be as noticeable.
That's right. I tell you what, there's not a weed on that whole place.
Yeah. Is it the biggest?
How many people, as far as gallery, how many people are able to get into a day of the Masters? Like, how many thousands of people?
They will never say, but I would say 60,000 to 70,000 probably.
Wow, that's a lot bigger than I thought.
Now, how many go through the lottery? About 10,000 goes through the lottery.
Everybody in the country can do the lottery.
Yeah, everybody does the lottery, and it's hard.
You reckon how many people in that lottery? It probably well over 100,000 people in that lottery, aren't they?
Oh, a million.
Millions, yeah. I had a good buddy of mine from Birmingham. He was in the lottery a few years ago and got practice round tickets at least.
Yeah.
We put in 7. You have to have 7 different emails. So my 3 children and their wives and husbands and me all put in 7, and we were 0 for 7.
Will, are these people that are selling those tickets at unreal prices? Are they? Do they make a living doing it, or are they just selling some of their corporate tickets?
There are no corporate tickets anymore. They get away with those.
Yeah.
A lot of people that win the lottery sell their tickets for a bunch of money, which really isn't right. I don't think that's wrong, but they do it. And the guy I bought tickets from, he paid the doctor $5,000 for the week just to put his tent in front of his office there on Washington Road.
Oh, man.
And then he sells tickets for everything. I mean, he's got, now the 2 tickets I bought were from 2 people from Korea that could not make it or something until later in the week.
And this was to the practice round.
I got their tickets for the practice round.
Yeah. I talked to Colin and
he's over there.
Yeah, I know. He just went over for the practice rounds, and he played.
Mike, there's 50 or 60,000 people in the practice round.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just as big as the tournament. It's probably bigger.
Oh, yeah. And
oh, yeah.
But he said he watched Bubba, and he thought Bubba put on a show in the practice rounds, that he was hitting the ball about as good as he's ever hit it. And he said he's further than everybody. He said, that Bubba he was just hitting it further than everybody.
I don't know, man. Kepka and Dustin Johnson are hitting at 350 too.
Bubba. Now listen, he's my man, Will. He's your man too, isn't he, Bubba?
No, I like Kepka.
A lot of people that don't like Bubba, but there's a lot of people that do like him. And boy, he can.
Florida State.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier. You know, I was watching yesterday on 16. It almost seemed too easy for him. There were so many shots right at the pin. Yeah. Mickelson almost hold out. DeChambeau almost hold out.
I mean, where the pin was yesterday is at the bottom of the hill, and they can hit anything just about it to the right of the hole, and it'll feed back down to the bottom. That's why they got so close, so many of them.
It's amazing, they were talking. And
of course, the players that finished last yesterday will play first this morning, and then you'll have Tiger go out late today. So it'll be interesting to see where that cut line is. I would imagine it'll probably be somewhere around 100 to 200 just to make the cut.
Well, it depends on what the leaders shoot, because they've got a 10-shot rule. If you're within 10 shots, you make the cut. So if 8 unders lead, 2 over will make the cut.
That's right. Now, DeChambeau and Copa, you would think they'd be big buddies because they look alike. They have a lot of the same characteristics. You reckon they're friends?
From what I hear, DeChambeau has no friends. He is a weird dude.
And they say that Bubba doesn't have many friends. Why is that?
I think, I don't know, maybe there are a lot of them are put off because Bubba's a Christian and some of them don't get along with him because of that.
I didn't know Bubba. I didn't know he was real religious. I'm glad to know it.
He's a great guy. He's really a great.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a good story about Bubba. I was at the beach 3 or 4 years ago, and I was at that, I think it's Pineapple Willie's. It's right across the street there on the beach. And it's like a restaurant. I think it's Pineapple Willie's. I'm not sure. But anyway, I looked over there, and there was Bubba Watson and his wife eating. So I walked over and I said, Bubba, how does it feel to be in a place nobody in the world knows who you are except me? He laughed. He said, well, we've been coming to the beach for years. He's got a condo on Thomas Drive. I said, well, where do you play golf down here? He said, I've never brought my golf club to the beach. That just blows my mind that a professional golfer would not, he just takes a week off and doesn't play golf.
Well, and of course, these guys travel every week. Some of them, they know each other. They play in practice rounds, and a lot of people don't realize that some of the practice rounds, there's some big money changing hands there. Is that right?
Well, I don't know about good money, but I know they do a little gambling on the side.
Yeah, it sort of motivates them a little bit. Who are some of the bigger gamblers that to your knowledge?
Mickelson's, noted to be one of the biggest gamblers in the country. He's actually was one of the biggest gamblers in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, so, he's lucky not to get in criminal trouble.
But now the Masters, you can't gamble on the Masters, can you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Out in Vegas, yeah.
Well, you can't. I didn't know you could. In Vegas, through Vegas, you can bet on them.
Yeah, you can go to Biloxi. They have sports betting now.
Oh, I know it, but gosh, how do you do it?
There's always picks on who the winner's going to be.
Yeah. Well, we do that at our club here, and they did it the other day, and I bet there was 50 people fooling with it. And of course, it's fun to watch it, and we got the big screen TV now that everybody enjoys.
Mike,
you can draft. You can do a Masters draft. Who you think is going to win, and who do you think is going to finish in the top 10?
See, I knew all that was big in Britain and everything, but I never thought that they bet on golf in America. I really didn't know that.
Oh yeah, to bet on anything.
Yeah. Will Matthews is our guest, and of course Mike Amos calling in from Great Beach. Will, do you ever go to the Yellow House this time of year?
We get it one time a month. We split it 4 ways, so I go down during the summer. I'll go down 2 or 3 times.
And you can just walk over to Thomas's to get donuts, can't you?
No, it's about a mile.
Well,
I went to Thomas's the other day, and I pulled in there, and it was me and one other guy. It's dead down here right now. It's a ghost town.
I'll tell you this. Prior to that, I was down there, and let me tell you, the lines were 100 yards long. I've never seen it that bad. And I saw Mike Thomas, and of course he's a good friend of mine. He's the mayor of Panama City Beach. Great guy. And I was actually eating at his restaurant down there. And he said he was so embarrassed. He said that was the worst day since they've been doing the donut business, and he said several years, where they can't find any good help. They said they ran short of help, and they just could not produce, the amount of donuts that they needed to produce. The problem is down there, and I'm going to give somebody a real secret here, but the problem is down there, some people walk up and say they want 15 dozen instead of calling ahead, And I'll tell you right now, if you wanted just 2 donuts, you could call ahead and order them 2 dozen or a dozen or 2 donuts. And you when you get there, you walk through the line and you pick up your phone order to the side. And I never knew that until recently, but there's some people stay in that line an hour, and by doing that, you might stay in line 2 or 3 minutes if you have a phone in order.
Right.
So now you know the rest of the story.
I've never called in, so.
Well, now you have had your family's had a place at the beach for years, haven't you?
Since 1925.
Whoa! Now that's bad. That's a long time.
I was about to say we had one since 1947. That 1925 is really old.
But
yeah,
see,
my grandfather built that house. It was the first house built on the beach down there.
I know it very well. I know it. I know that, and they tore that house down, didn't they?
No.
Oh, is it still up?
Yeah.
Well, I know they had a piece of property that they were developing right next to it, or did they ever sell that property?
That wasn't theirs. That's somebody else.
Yeah. Of course, we're talking about.
My grandfather bought 2 lots there. There's 2 lots there, one house. 2 lots there for $25 a piece.
Oh gosh. Oh me. That is something.
Let's have fun. Let's pick our Masters winner out of what yesterday's scores are. We're gonna go with 10 guys: DeChambeau, Koepka, Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, Adam Scott, John Rahm, Kevin Kisner, Tiger Woods, Ricky Fowler. We'll throw in Jason Day because he's 2 under.
And you might better throw in Holmes because if you hit it a long ways, you have a big advantage here at the Masters, don't you?
Those are all players that are 2 under or better.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I hate to do it, Mickelson is my favorite player, but I'm going to go with I'm going to say Dustin Johnson's going to win his first Masters.
And I'll tell you something about this Masters. It looks closer overall, closer scores than I can ever remember. What do you think, Will?
It's going to be a dog fight, but I tell you what, I like Koepka. That guy's a player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's won 3 out of the last 6 majors.
And
I like Koepka.
And gosh, you talk about physical. He's by far the most physical-looking player on the tour, isn't he? He's got those big biceps.
They were saying yesterday he benches 225 like 20 times or something.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's a strong guy.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he said yesterday in the interview. He said, I was bored laying around the house, so I just went and worked out for 2 hours before his round.
Where is his actual home, Will? Do you know?
I think he lives in Jupiter, Florida.
Oh, well, all the rich guys do. They say Jupiter, Florida, or Jupiter Island is the richest spot in America. Have you ever heard that?
Well, that's where Tiger lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's so crazy about Koepka, which he did is really unique. When he started his career, he went to Europe. He played on the European PGA Tour before he came to the States. So I think that really helped him a lot as far as maturity.
This Connors guy is a bright young star. He shot a 70 yesterday, so he's in pretty good shape.
I tell you what, man, old Kisner's a good little player too. The guy out of Georgia, he's tough.
Yeah, you're right.
I just don't know if he can bomb it like the rest of them, though.
But don't. Hey, from what I gather, they say don't bet Tiger out. They think Tiger can play this course real well.
I put Tiger in that group.
Yeah.
Tiger, now I'm telling you, Tiger should have shot a lot better yesterday. He didn't make anything. Then he made one long putt, but he missed 4 or 5 inside 10 feet because he could have shot a lot better.
Have you ever looked at Jason?
You know who had the worst round yesterday, Dad? Your favorite player, Angel Angel Cabrera.
Oh man, good. I don't want to see him anywhere. I don't want to see Angel.
He'll be gone after today.
Angel and then and what's my other guy too? There are 2 of them. Jason Day is also a real physical player. Will have you seen him? He's
got back issues though, so he's struggling.
Yeah, he's struggling.
And Mal.
How about Bernhard Longer at 62 shot 1 under yesterday? That guy's a phenomenal golfer.
Oh, he really is.
Yeah.
Do they let? They don't let him use the same putter he used to use.
He uses the long putter out there.
But how can he? I thought that was a rule against that putter.
You just can't. You can't have it next to your belly. Isn't that the new rule?
You can't anchor it to your body. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, Will, as far as like putting the pin in on greens, what's your opinion on that? I mean, you think that's helping the golfers? I don't know. I mean,
I saw one bounce.
About it.
Hey, I saw one bounce back.
I
saw one bounce back yesterday. They would have gone in the hole if it wasn't.
Well, since they've changed the rule, I've made at least 2 putts that wouldn't have gone in if the pin wasn't in. So it does make a difference, I think.
Hey, Mike,
you could hit it harder, I guess, couldn't you?
Yeah, well,
hoping that you'll hit the pin and it'll slow the ball down.
If you hit a putt too hard and it hits the pin and goes in, then you know. But it does help now on a downhill putt. Now uphill putt, and plus if the pin's leaning against you, I would never.
Mike, I tell you, the player that you better be watching closely is Francesco Molinari. Was he one of your guys? Did you pick him?
No, I didn't put him in. He's 200. He's one of the hottest players in the world. You're right.
He's good, and this Tony Fina is playing good golf. Of course, it's. But
I mean, Will knows this better than anybody. I mean, it comes down to experience. How many times you played that course most of the time. I mean, a guy like Nicholson and a guy like Tiger, they know where to hit it. They know where to leave the ball under the hole. I mean, not to make the mistakes like these younger guys make.
Yeah. All right, Will, tell us the big difference in what they call soft greens and hard greens. Like after a rainstorm, do you think they prefer, or would you prefer a softer green or a harder green?
Oh, they like them soft, and they are soft because it's raining like crazy.
But that means they can hit it right in there toward the pin. They can hit it. A lot of times they wouldn't necessarily hit it right toward the pin. Is that right?
Yeah, they can fire right at it now.
Yeah. Now they're expecting some rough weather. I think by Sunday. That could have a big difference in the whole thing, couldn't it?
Well, I mean, they quit when it gets bad, but those greens will still be fast because they've got that underground drainage thing that sucks the water out of the greens.
Will, is the Masters golf tournament, is it probably the most well-done major event in sports? I mean, would you think, I noticed that they had a row of about 15 lawnmowers, maybe more than that were lighted up this morning. They had the lights on. It was around 4 o'clock, ready to hit the deal. I mean, it's so precision, didn't it?
They've got, just since last year, they've redone the parking area, and there's only one way in now, and they've got these big concrete block things like you see on the interstates for security reasons. and they've spent millions of dollars on that place since last year.
Do they have a lot of tents? Are there a lot of corporate tents at the Masters?
None.
None?
No, we don't have that.
No corporate tents. You know, that's what the first thing I do if somebody invites me to go to a tour event. I want to know what tent I'm gonna be able to operate out of.
Well, you won't see that at Augusta.
So it's just so they buy the same sandwich that you buy. Is that right? I'm talking about the Uppies.
Oh yeah.
That's right. We're talking to Will Matthews this morning. Will, give us a demonstration or an explanation on how fast these greens are. Is it almost like putting on concrete?
No, I mean they're the reason they're fast. You've got these undulations, and if you're on the wrong side of a hump, it's hard to hit one over a hump and stop it going down a hump.
So if you miss the hole, you're in trouble. Is that right? The hole's got to sort of help you stop it, and that's where having the pin in the hole pays off. Isn't that right?
It might, yeah. If you hit it, yeah, sure.
And at least it'll stop it.
Yeah.
Have you ever put it on those kind of greens? Have you ever? Of course, I know it's bent grass, isn't it?
It's bent grass, and they're very fast. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, of course, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I would think that the Saturday and Sunday rounds of the Masters would be probably one of the hardest tickets in sports, wouldn't you think? Did you hear me, Will?
Mike, every day of the Masters is the hardest ticket in sports.
Yeah.
You pay more to see a practice round than go to the Super Bowl.
Isn't that amazing?
That's the way it is.
Yeah. Now, who did in the practice round? Who did Tiger? Does he still draw the crowds, or does Mickelson draw the crowds, or Bubba, or who?
Well, I mean, everybody draws the crowd. There's 60,000 people out there. They're everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not like one person.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Tiger still has the biggest gallery. Either Tiger or Phil, I would say.
But Michael, everybody stays in place the last 4 or 5 holes. You can't really move. There's so many people in there. You can't really move.
Something they're gonna have to do something about is all the past winners get to play. Is that right?
That's right.
All right, but now right now, you look at Sandy Lyle. He doesn't need to be playing in that thing.
I don't know. He's got a 53 yesterday.
Oh, did he? Larry Mize.
Andy almost won the par 5.
Larry Mize, the luckiest guy in Masters history. Wouldn't you say? It made him a hero, didn't it?
He chipped in to beat Greg.
That's right. But see, that made his career right there, didn't it?
Oh yeah, he'll continue to play.
All right, but I mean, there's some of these guys.
Not to.
Now, BJ's pretty good now. He can still play, but we're looking at a lot of these guys that they get the free entrance into it every year. And one of them was the guy who became famous for having too many clubs in his bag. You know who I'm talking about?
Ian Wisdom.
Yeah, Ian Wisdom. I mean, he became a hero because he had too many clubs in his bag, didn't he?
It cost him the British Open. He lost the British Open by 1 stroke because of it.
That was something.
So what Alabama fans do tomorrow at 1 o'clock? Do you watch the Masters or do you watch Alabama spring game? That's going to be pretty tough for some people.
Well, I'm taping the Masters, so I watch the spring game.
The spring game's going to be televised, too, so it's going to be something.
ESPN, too.
Hey, there really is some stuff fixing to happen at Auburn. Hey, it looks like the coach's son might be getting beat out over there. Have y'all heard anything about it?
What are you talking about, Patrick Nix's son?
You know who they like? They like this Joey Gatewood. Joey Gatewood, Mike.
Well, I mean, when Malzahn recruited him, he compared him to Cam Newton, so that was pretty good.
And now they say that there's a picture of Bo Nix, but it's just hard for me to think that this pure freshman can come in and beat out a player like Joey Gatewood because he can run. I don't think
he better get a good quarterback, or it'll be the Titanic.
Yeah,
by the end of the
exactly.
year.
And of course, there's some other guys out there that are looking good. You know, there were several people. This tickles me. They were talking about the transfers and talking about Kelly Bryant, who went to Missouri, and Auburn had a chance that Kaylee. Mike, fill me in on this Kaylee Tate from Arizona, Oklahoma.
Khalil Tate.
Why now? Oh yeah, now he was. Auburn looked at him. They looked at this guy Austin Kendall, and also Jalen Hurts. That, of course, they couldn't get Jalen. But the other quarterback is Malik Willis. How good is he, Mike?
I mean, he's been their backup the last 2 years. He'll be a junior, so I mean, he's barely played.
4 quarterbacks. I reckon they're on scholarship, all 4 of them. And then I reckon I mentioned the Sandberg kid, and I didn't realize it, Mike, until today that Cord Sandberg's left-handed.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. But I mean, they got a new play caller though. His name's Gus Malzahn, so who knows what's going to happen?
I'll tell you something about Sandberg. About him, he is pretty now. I mean, gosh, he looks like Richard Todd. And you know what that means, don't you, Will?
Probably 5 interceptions.
Well, another thing, big old biceps. He looks like a weightlifter, you know. Richard Todd, you remember how big and strong he was when he played at Alabama?
Yeah.
But, of course, it's going to be a real big battle. Will, some exciting news for a former Troy quarterback yesterday, Silvers, the long-time
Brandon Silvers signed a free agent contract with the New York Jets, so maybe he can make the backup role. Sam Darnold, first-round pick, is definitely going to be your starter, but maybe he can be that third quarterback on the roster.
Hey, they say this, Will, that a third-string quarterback in the pros is got it made. Just got it made. First of all, they don't get to play.
On the clipboard.
Well, they make what I'm saying. They make several $1 million a year just to carry a clipboard. Oh man! And our guy at Alabama, did he ever come up? Did he ever catch on with anybody, Mike?
Yeah, AJ McCarron's with the Houston Texans.
All right, so he's with the Houston team.
So he's going to back up. He's going to back up Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, exactly. Will.
Michael, didn't he get $5 million a year for that?
He was making that. I don't know. I think he signed for like 3 maybe.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, he's doing fine. He's a millionaire.
Yeah, I think he's getting 5, but I don't know. I have to check.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a situation where John Parker Wilson was the backup in Atlanta, third-string quarterback for I think 4 or 5 years, and he made great money doing that, and now he's doing the Alabama color on the radio. I didn't even get to listen to that much this year. Did you ever get to listen to that, Will? How did he sound with Eli?
I heard him a few times. I thought he was pretty good.
They're all on TV. I never listen to the radio anymore.
Well,
of course, I thought Phil Savage did a great job as a color analyst with Eli Gold, and then of course he replaced Kenny Stabler, who I thought was unbelievable as well.
Yeah. Well, today the last group going off is McElroy and Fowler. I reckon everybody's putting a lot of pressure on McElroy to win every time he goes out, and it's just hard to do.
This will be the grand slam if he wins it.
Yeah. Ricky Fowler, I like him a lot. Does he have a chance here? Is he long enough here to win this tournament?
He lost by a stroke last year, so he's got a chance, sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Will, we hadn't talked to you about this. What I know you have a lot of stuff going on as far as in politics, and former Auburn coach Tommy Tuberville is running for the U.S. Senate. What are his chances?
I think they're pretty good.
I think his name recognition is really good, and he's got that Sean Spicer is running his campaign that worked in the White House. So who knows? I mean,
well, let me tell you this: there's enough Auburn fans out there alone to get him elected. I mean, Auburn folks take care of Auburn. Hey, just like a Marine. Hey, Will, it's just like a Marine. You know, a Marine never saw anything bad of another Marine, and that's the way these Auburn guys are. Hey, they're gonna take care of their own, man.
Yeah.
And then listen, he still can show that 5 fingers and 1 finger. There's nobody in history been able to do that much, you know.
Well, he
Fear the foam.
Did you? I bet that T-shirt could still sell, don't you think?
You know, Mike, he won the national championship one year. Didn't lose the game.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, no, but they didn't give it to him. They gave it to USC that year.
Yeah, that's right. I remember it well.
Hey, Michael, there was some newspaper in Auburn declared them the national.
Hey, yeah. You follow paper playing with national champions, yeah.
You know, we were talking about some of these guys.
You know, I see him down on the beach a lot. He's got a house down here. But, you know, I read an article the other day that was interesting. Apparently, you can live in the state of Alabama for one day, like move to Alabama, and then decide you want to run for Senate. I didn't realize that.
Boy, I didn't either.
Congress, same thing, yeah.
Boy.
That's crazy. Because a guy from Florida, who's like a big politician, I think around the Panhandle, they were talking about him maybe running for U.S. Senate in Alabama.
Now, you know, he owns part interest of the Alabama-Florida Grill.
Florida Fish House.
Yeah, Fish House, and that's a good restaurant. And he's down there a lot. But I mean,
he's going to have to go up against. He's going to have to go against Bradley Byrne and the guy out of North Alabama they love a lot. What's his name? Mo Brooks. He won't beat those two guys, will he?
I thought he.
Mo Brooks is going to run.
Oh, he's not. Okay.
Yeah.
No. Now I've heard that Jim Ziegler's going to run the.
Oh boy. Hopefully not. Gosh.
Well, he's talking about it. I mean, you know.
Yeah. You know, of course, he'd been around politics a long time. Hey, he doesn't even look like I bet he weighs 250 pounds now.
But Bradley Byrne lost to Love Gov, so I mean he's no big deal. Love Gov beat the crap out of it.
Who's the Love Gov?
Bentley.
Oh boy, these guys are something. We got Will Matthews on the line. Of course, are you one of the top Republicans in Alabama?
Not really, but I'm on the executive committee.
Yeah, and you have, you know, something you did that turned out to be one of the best decisions of your life is you ran for one of those Republican board. What was it? You're on the committee. You know, the Republican committee. It was a statewide vote. Isn't that right?
That's right.
How in the world? I mean, how in the world do you win a statewide election without a lot of name recognition? Evidently, your name must have stood out.
Well, there's 8,000 lawyers in Birmingham alone, so I think that probably had something to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. What? So you think they voted on you because you were a lawyer?
I don't know.
Well, Bill Baxley that's the way he rode the shoulders of a bunch of lawyers in politics, wouldn't you say?
I actually ran against 3 women, so I figured maybe I got all the men and that canceled out the women.
How long ago was that?
2016.
All right.
I got elected 2012 as a Gingrich delegate. You know,
I mean, how long can you keep that before you have to do it again?
Well, I've got to run again in 4 years.
Yeah.
Or actually 2 years.
But Will, not only was it fun for you, your son was able to reap benefits from it too. Isn't that right?
Well, he was already involved in the campaign. He got me to be a Trump delegate. I was going to be a Rubio delegate.
Were you really? Now we know the rest of the story.
And he talked me into being a Trump delegate, and so I qualified for Trump, and the rest is history.
Yeah. What is your grade on Trump right now, Will? I mean, really? Well, I mean, he makes some poor decisions sometimes, doesn't he?
He has kept just about every promise he had, and they're building that wall right now, and it's got to be driving Democrats crazy.
Well, I'll tell you something else that came out yesterday was the pipeline. What's the deal on it?
Well, they've been doing that for years.
I know it, but what I'm saying, something came up yesterday on that.
You talking about the one that's coming down from Canada?
Yeah. What it'll do, it gives us more independence as far as the fuel and the oil prices.
We're completely independent from the Middle East now. We don't buy oil from the Middle East anymore.
Well, see, I always wondered why they did it in the first place. I mean, the reserve in the United States.
Well, Alaska's got tons of oil.
In Alaska, I mean, what I'm saying, we don't really have a shortage of it, do we?
Not anymore, no. But the thing is, back in the old days, we could buy oil from the Middle East cheap, and then they started raising the prices and all that. And so now Trump has just come in and said, "To hell with y'all, we'll do it here," and it's been great.
Want y'all to stay on the line. We'll be back with more of Today in L.A. right after this.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office.
Hey folks, are you tired of spending hard-earned money on a gas grill only to have it burn up in less than 2 years, not to mention burning your food? Here at Southern Grill and Patio in Troy, Alabama, we carry the Holland Grill line. They've been around since 1988, and there are people right here in Troy that have had theirs for over 20 years. These grills are guaranteed not to flare up. You can grill, steam, or smoke on your new Holland Grill today. Come see us at Southern Grill and Patio in Troy, Alabama, inside Town & Country Flooring Center.
When you are handed the key to a new Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick or GMC, rev up your imagination. Think of all the places you can go in some of the most stylish, best quality cars available on the market today. Feel confident driving vehicles with superb dependability and safety ratings. And smile, you saved a ton of money because you bought at Bill Jackson. Let the only thing holding you back be the end of the road. A Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC vehicle will not only change your life, it saves you money like nowhere else.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
Back to our show, brought to you by the great folks at First Cahaba Bank in Troy, Alabama, located on Publix Drive. And boy, I tell you, they are really moving well with that new bank right here in Troy. And I also want to mention Goldfingers. Now, you've been eating Goldfingers chicken down in Dothan for a while, haven't you, Will?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, Troy is getting more and more restaurants. We got us a new Jack's coming up. And they say that Jack's chicken will battle anybody. That is really, really good.
Well, I mean, Jack's has got really good breakfast too. Jack's is out of Birmingham. That's where it started. So it's kind of funny that a lot of people don't realize growing up, Troy actually had a Jack's. So they're actually getting a Jack's back. Only about 30 years later.
Oh yeah, I remember it used to be on Park Street in Troy.
Yeah, it was near the campus.
Yeah. Well, of course, ladies and gentlemen. I
mentioned, Brandon Silver's the Troy quarterback signed with the Jets. Brandon Silver's agent is Alexa Stabler, Kenny Stabler's daughter. Isn't that funny?
Really? Well, I would think she would do well. She comes from. Yeah, exactly right. Will, I'm having somebody bring me coffee, and Will, you don't even drink coffee, do you?
I'm drinking coffee right now.
Oh, okay, all right. I was wondering. Will, I heard a great compliment on your. Of course, you play golf and been sort of built your name and reputation as a golfer, and I ran into one of the all-time greats, Ronnie Mobley, the other day. He works for Troy Bank and Trust. and they were out doing some promotions this past week, and we talked golf, and boy, he told me some stories about you, Will, and I said, gosh, I thought all of that was just a bunch of gossip, but evidently when y'all played in a tournament or something in Brundage, was it Brundage or was it in Dothan or Ozark? Brundage. And you shoot, and everybody everywhere says, gosh, this guy Will Matthews from Ozark has just shot a 63, and everybody said, oh gosh, a 63, and then tell us what happened.
Well, I came in, and Coach Skinner, Cecil Skinner was the golf coach for Carolina.
Oh yeah.
And I shot a 63, and Coach Skinner said, wow, I've never heard of anything that good in high school before. And I said, yeah, Coach, I got cut by 3 shots. Ronnie Mobley shot a 60.
Oh boy.
3 shots.
He was and gosh, what a gentleman Ronnie is. I asked Ronnie, I said, Ronnie, are there many people still out there that you played with? And he said, very few. And I started talking to him about who was the fun guy to play with, and he said that Super Mix was hard to play with. He was different than everybody else. Have you ever heard that?
Oh yeah. I'll tell you something about Ronnie's team at Troy. Mike Griffin was the coach.
Oh yeah.
He tried to get me to go to Troy, and I told him, I said, I've got offers to all these big schools, and they were a little school back then.
Oh yeah.
They played Division III or whatever it was.
Division II.
NIA or Division II, I guess.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I've got full scholarships everywhere, and I love you to death, and I've always loved Coach Griffin. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
And so I went to Vandy. Well, Troy was discriminated against, and they had a great team. They could have won the NCAA Division I. They were that good. I mean, they won the small college national championship by 30-something strokes.
Well, they practically owned the golf course south of Montgomery, Colonial Acres. I mean, not Colonial, but what's the name of that place?
Rolling Hill.
Rolling Hill, yeah. And it was a top-notch golf course at one time, wasn't it, Will?
Yeah. Anyway, they invited Troy State at the time to play in the Chris Schenkel over in Statesboro, Georgia. That was the big college tournament back then. And they lost to Florida by 1 stroke, and they never invited them back again.
Uh-huh. Well, I know that there was a few, even Mike, after he went to Auburn, what I'm saying is, Troy had a hard time getting in some of these big tournaments, but now I think they're back playing in big tournaments now, so that's good.
Well, they're Division I now. So
that's right.
Now, the coach,
in their great college golf program in Augusta State's where like Patrick Reed and a bunch of those other guys played, didn't they?
Michael, they won the national championship 2 years in a row when Patrick Reed was there.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Now, what did Reed shoot yesterday? What did Reed shoot?
He's, I think, +1 or even.
I tell you what, you better watch him. He's pretty good. I tell you a guy that I really like, and they say Will is probably one of the most popular players on the tour, is Matt Kuchar. Don't you like Kuchar?
Not really.
Well, one thing about him that
he's never won a major.
Well, I tell you something about him that you can understand, Will. He's over 6'2", and a lot of people say that if you're 6'4" or 6'5", you can't play on the tour or be able to be competitive.
Michael,
Dustin Johnson 6'4".
Yeah, but a lot of them, that was wasn't that out there for all those years, Will, that if you're too tall, you can't compete with these short guys.
Hey, Michael, I won a bet one time. I bet a guy $50. He said Kuchar's never won a major. I said, I'll bet you $50 he has. And he said, no way, I'll bet you. Well,
you come on the amateur?
He won the U.S. Amateur, and that's a major title, so,
Yeah.
He also won the Players, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, he won, the U.S. Amateur is still considered a major.
Yeah.
Tiger won 3 U.S. Amateurs.
Yeah, exactly.
Nicholas won 2.
Well, I'm going to have to let y'all go because I'm going to go over all of the Hall of Fame. You know, Troy's got their Hall of Fame banquet this weekend and induction ceremonies, and I was going to go over some of these guys. I don't know if you know these guys or not, but of course Brock Nutter, former quarterback, and I was going to go in depth a little bit on this. We appreciate you calling. What is your plan? What is your plan? Are you going to just sit around, or are you going to play in the golf in the morning?
I'm going to probably watch TV tomorrow.
Yeah. And who are you pulling for?
I just gonna sit back and watch and see what happens.
Does it make you feel good though to see a guy like Mickelson though still play as good as he is at age 49?
I would love to see Mickelson win, but I don't know if he can hold up or not. But it'll be interesting.
You know, one thing that people don't realize is the wear and tear on these guys' legs. Now, this is a hilly golf course, isn't it? Up and down, isn't it?
Very, very hilly.
I mean, so it's going. I mean, you got to be in good physical shape to play this golf course, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's amazing though. You rarely ever hear of somebody getting off the list because of the heat or because of the physical strain on them. You don't see that much, do you?
Well, 18 holes of golf's not that tough, but you let them play 36, say they got a rain out or a rain delay or whatever, then you'll see something then. Like this weekend, if they delay it any on Saturday and they have to come back Sunday morning and they play 28 or 30 holes, then it might make a difference.
Uh-huh. We're going to go to a commercial. Thank you so much for being on our show, Mike. If you want to hold on, you can. On Troy, brought to you by Troy Nissan. We'll be right back. Thank you, Will. Mike?
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Know-how, Napa Know-How.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance needs.
Back to our show, brought to you by Sister's Restaurant, and what a great restaurant it is. Everybody that comes to town, ladies and gentlemen, wants to know where Sister's is, and it's located two miles south of Troy on Highway 231. One of the great places to eat in America is at Sister's Restaurant, and we appreciate them very much. Mike Amos, give us a call back. Of course, we're going over the 8th Hall of Fame class at Troy University this weekend. Call me back, please. Thank you. And, of course, it's going to be held at the Trojan Arena on the campus of Troy University. And I've said this, so many times, I'll say it again. Troy University does the Hall of Fame, does their Hall of Fame as well as anybody in the country. And I hear it from people all over saying this is one of the classiest programs that they have been at in a long time. And of course, we expect it to be the same way this weekend, as the 8th induction class will be receive their rings, and their beautiful rings as they go into the Troy University Hall of Fame. There's something at the Trojan Arena that a lot of people don't realize, that if you go over here, there's a machine over there where all of the inductees are lined up, you know, and there's something a little bit about them. But all you do is just mash a button, and their whole life comes on the screen, and then of course it goes over all the highlights, or some of the highlights of their athletic careers. It's really well done. And again, these guys that are going in this week there'll be people that will have the opportunity to mash that button for years and years and years to come, and find out more about these outstanding athletes that become members of the Troy University Hall of Fame. Of course, Jerry McLean, the former Troy University athletic director, he announced the induction ceremonies back in April, and of course the 6 new inductees will be enshrined at a special ceremony, and that is this weekend at the Trojan Arena. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to go, I think there's still some rooms and still some tables there where you can call in and order seats for this weekend's event. It starts right at 6:30. Well, actually, that's when the inductees will have their reception. But then the actual banquet starts at 7 o'clock with a delicious meal. And again, the arena, you call the athletic department, and you can purchase $1 or $100 seats at a table, or you can buy a table or purchase a table for $800, and sponsorships are available for the evening. For more information, the purchase of the tickets, call Helen Shirey today at 670-3482. 670-3482, and to buy tickets to that event. We're going to call them right now and see if they're here to make sure that we're
the number you have entered.
We're online right here. Let's see what we can do. 372 and see 3482. Let's see if that gets us into the athletic department.
The number you have entered has not been.
Have to dial 9.
The number you have entered.
You gotta really react quick to this guy. Hopefully this will get us through here. But again, that number is 670-3482.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. The wireless.
I'm trying to evidently they haven't gotten in yet on that deal, but we're going to go over this list. And again, 670-3482, and you can go and bring, buy 1 ticket or buy 5 tickets or whatever. But your children, let me tell you, this would be a great event even for kids to go to, because of the quality of the programming. But again, husband and wives, or if you just want to call up some friends to get to go with you, you can be there when John Fairclough, very well known in the Troy area, a trailblazer in the history of Troy football. John Fairclough was a prominent fixture on the offensive line as a linebacker during his tenure, and he started every game of his career. The true definition of an Iron Man football, Fairclough averaged 56 minutes of playing time per game. and he's the Brundage, Alabama native, and earned all Alabama Athletic Conference team. I think he was a two-time member of that team, and then also he was as a junior and a senior. He was also named Little All-American honors as a senior in 1961. His success in the game of football did not end following his career. He was an outstanding coach for over 10 years in Florida and had some of the better teams down there for years. And then he had an opportunity to come to South Montgomery Academy in Raymer, Alabama, when it was first started, this league and the Alabama Independent Schools. He won several regional titles coaching at South Montgomery. And then he was named to head up the Alabama Independent Schools Association. And he was in that position for 27 years and did a fabulous job. And he was inducted into the in the Alabama Independent Schools Hall of Fame as a member of the inaugural class. So congratulations to John Fairclough, very well known man in the Troy, Brundage, and Pike County area for many years. One of the strong leaders in school. In the school system that he started, the Alabama Independent School, and he is very well known and very respected. I want to mention also Brock Nutter. We were on the phone yesterday with Brock Nutter, and what a great athlete he was, and of course he was a leader both on and off the field. Nutter started 48 straight games, which is a record at Troy, and made history as Troy's first quarterback at the NCAA Division I-A level. He ranks third all-time in Troy history with 7,687 career passing yardage, 581 completions while checking in fourth all-time with 49 career touchdown passes. Nutter was the school record holder in passing yardage and completions at the time of graduation, a two-time All-Southland Conference selection, and the 1998 Southland Conference Newcomer of the Year. And of course, Nutter led the Trojans to a pair of conference titles and 3 trips to the NCAA FCS playoffs. Additionally, Nutter was named to the Dan Hansen All-American team during his junior year at Troy. After throwing for right at 2,000 yards and guiding the Trojans to 11-10 record. Also, he threw for 390 yards against Middle Tennessee in 1999, which ranked at that time the second most yardage by any quarterback in a single game. Nutter guided Troy to a 7-4 overall record, guiding Troy to a 21-9 win over Mississippi State. And I remember that game well. That was Mississippi State's homecoming, and Nutter just almost single-handedly worked the clock at the end of that ball game and would not let Mississippi State get it back. And, of course, he, in his career, was involved in 36 wins over his 4-year career and never lost a game in state. He was 4-0 against Jacksonville State, and all the in-state teams at that time they beat. Nutter is an active community volunteer, and of course he's a former Hoover High Birmingham star, and he'll go in this weekend to the Troy University Sports Hall of Fame. Gary Pimenta, and I was on the phone with him yesterday, one of the outstanding linebackers in Troy history. In fact, he's Troy's all-time leading tackler, and it was just amazing, some of his stats. Of course, he finished his career with 563 career tackles, 94 more than anybody else in history. Can you believe that? That's pretty good, isn't it? Known as a big hitter on Troy's defense, Pimenta also holds the school records for unassisted tackles with 307 and assisted tackles with 256. A 4-year starter for the Trojans, Pimenta's tackles of 198 in Troy's national title season still is a single season record by 43 or more tackles. So that is to tell you right now what a great player he was. Of course, he played on a couple of national championship teams, and just is an outstanding man and outstanding linebacker that played at Troy. One of the great basketball players of all time, and this guy has been sitting back there waiting to go in the Hall, and everybody says, when is Daryl Thomas going in the Hall of Fame? If he don't go in, they ought to do away with it. I've heard all kinds of things. But this year, he's going in. The Atlanta Star, one of the most exciting players to ever play at Troy. At Sartain Hall, Daryl Thomas wowed Trojan fans from 1987 to 89. A two-time junior college All-American where he averaged 30 points a game, over 30 points a game for 2 years in junior college. Thomas came to Troy and immediately averaged 23.2 points per game while being named All-American and All-Gus South Conference player. Thomas scored 1,415 points in 2 seasons. He only played 2 seasons and still held all those records. And, of course, his scoring average for those 2 years was over 23 points a game. Thomas still holds the program's single-season record for points with 815, and that was phenomenal. And, of course, he went on and led Troy to the Division II national tournament, and Thomas went on to score 25 points against Cannon in one of the playoff games and 34 points in the consolation game against Florida Southern. For his career, Thomas broke 30 points per game 6 times. One of the great basketball players of all time, Daryl Thomas, will be inducted into the Troy University Sports Hall of Fame tomorrow night at the Trojan Arena. And again, if you don't have tickets yet, you need to go ahead and get them, because this is a fabulous program, and a couple of other women that will go into the Hall of Fame. Tamara Howren, the greatest home run hitter of all time in Troy history, and it was amazing. She had 52 home runs during her career and knocked in 202 runners, and of course a member of Troy's 2005 Atlantic Sun regular season championship team, and Hiron in that year hit 23 home runs and drove in 65 runs. She was a native of Canada. She played on the Canadian National Championship team while she was here at Troy. She was a great one. Mitzi McClendon, a good article in the Dothan Eagle today about her, and was one of the more prolific hitters in Troy University softball history, and she her name was all over the record books at Troy, and we wish her a wonderful weekend. And of course, she was the first ever Division I girls basketball player in the conference. So a great player. All of these guys will be going in this weekend. Brock Nutter, Gary Pimenta, Daryl Thomas, John Fairclough, Tamara Howren, and Missy McClendon Hasty will also be inducted this weekend. It's a wonderful event called Troy University Athletics today at 6. Let's see. Let me give you the actual phone number: 670-3482. 670-3418. Call and get your tickets. You can pick them up at Will Call or go by the athletic department. But you want to get to go to this. This is really an outstanding event, and we'll have a party at the Alumni Affairs office immediately following the ceremony. So should be a lot of fun, a great weekend. And of course, also Troy University football team will scrimmage in the morning at 10 o'clock, which should be quite a scrimmage as it leads up to T-Day, which is next Saturday, the 20th. But if you want to see the Trojans, go by in the morning at 10 o'clock and watch them in their scrimmage, their last scrimmage before T-Day. Hope you've enjoyed our show. We appreciate all our call-ins and appreciate you even more for watching and being a part of our program. We'll come back on again at 1:30. See you then on Today in LA.